All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be taking a look at the OpTic versus Sentinels breakdown. None of my usual pizzazz, whatever you want to call it. Kind of just want to get into this and show you guys exactly what OpTic did to Sentinels here. I'm your host, the smoothest fingers in the gaming industry, your man Zot AZ. We're going to go ahead and hop right into this. The first thing I want to show you guys is it's 11-9 on Fracture. Now, anybody who really follows Valorant or pays attention to Valorant or pretty much follows the subreddit of Valorant will understand that this right here was pretty much the make or break where OpTic and Sentinels really were in terms of teams. And again, it comes down to people stating Sentinels doesn't really have a coaching strategy that works out really most of the time. Now, again, it's really easy to say that when you lose one game. But again, we've said this for a long time now that Sentinels feel like they don't practice a lot. Feels like they don't scrim a lot. I don't know that for sure. I have no inside information on that. However, I will say that when you see things like this, it does make you question and make you go, maybe that isn't exactly the way that should have panned out. And you can see by the way that OpTic counter-strats what Sentinels is going to do throughout the timeout and how Sentinels is not prepared for these types of plays. Now, I'm going to start off with this one, but then I'm going to rewind and show you guys some other clips, and then we'll go to the end of the game, or the end of the VOD, excuse me, and then we'll show some more of that. So right here, what I want to talk about off the rip is this is a timeout. Obviously, we have a timeout going right here. You see the stats across the board. It's a really, really close game, and OpTic getting back into this game is really, really crucial. This is a great timeout by OpTic's coach. OpTic did a really good job of coming out and saying, hey, we're going to call timeouts in crucial situations. So I really want to commend OpTic's coach for the level of execution and level of detail that they pay attention to. And you can tell right here off the rip that they're prepared for this. They're prepared for Sentinels to do the exact thing that Sentinels is going to do. They're prepared for the breach utility. They're ready for that. They're also really prepared for Viper to line up and go under instead of over into B. They're really, really prepared for that. And you can see by the way they set up here. But not only are they prepared for those two things with Viper and breach, they're also really prepared for the 3-hit that they're going to do on A. And this comes from watching film. This is simply comes from watching film and knowing your opponent better than they know you. Right here, you're going to see Raze go ahead and take a double satchel. She's going to take the double satchel. She's going to get around the corner, and she's going to go ahead and they're going to pinch right here. Now, this has to be perfect timing because if Astra or Crashies or Viper right here ends up swinging too early, or that one of them go this way, it's going to ruin the whole flow. They have to double swing here, and they have to time it perfectly with Raze, with Victor, and to make sure that this gets done perfectly. And you're going to see that they do that. They probably 1, 2, 3 discount, 1, 2, 3, boom, swing. Everybody gets knocked. They're looking the wrong way. Sentinels isn't prepared, but that's not even the highlight of this round. The highlight of this round is the fact that Mr. Breach right here, FNS, you know, my guy Finesse, is out here literally lurking, waiting for the Viper to come through. Now, they're both lurking, but what you're going to notice right here is the patience on display by FNS. And this is something I want to show you young players who are not really as sophisticated in FPS, or not even just FPS, but in Valorant in general, is that sometimes it's about your patience, knowing your strategy, committing to the strategy, and not getting impatient with what the whole team goal is, and that is to set up this play and execute this play. Again, this is knowing your team, knowing the enemy team, and knowing how to set up very well against that, and you see a very, very good strategy executed, and you're going to see that again with this little patient lurk right here. Zombs is going to get knocked, and immediately they're going to know exactly where Breach is. I mean, this is just textbook work here that you just can't make up, and I just wanted to show you guys that and go through that before we start the whole VOD. All right, one of the things the casters really took note of was the fact that these defaults that Sentinels likes to do, and not even only just the default, but these plays that also that OpTic likes to do, where OpTic will go through this teleporter, nade the teleporter, and then pinch them here. Now, I do understand on bind, it's really, really hard to get a flow of. A lot of people don't like bind. I get it. I don't happen to be one of those people. I know a lot of people like nade shot, and others have talked about how much they don't like bind, how it's not a good competitive map. But since it's in rotation, we will break it down and we will talk about it. But again, I understand and sympathize with Sentinels, even though this is their map pick, that it's really hard to get something flowing on this map. It just simply is. Throughout this game, what we started to see was we started seeing the lack of strategy and a lack of mid-round adjustments that came from Sentinels. Sentinels ended up really playing this just too defaulty, if you want to call that a word. They just kind of just let things flow and kind of just wanted to depend on their gun skill. As you can see right here, this is pretty indecisive. The way you can always tell if something indecisive is happening within esports is when teams get too bunched up and that nobody's looking at different angles. Right here, you have Viper looking the same way that pretty much Sova's looking, even though she's probably covering this angle right here. It's really not a good angle to be holding because you know nobody's going to actually get the flank on you that fast. You also know that Astra's looking this way, but you have 3 players looking in the exact same direction, and there's nothing really getting done here. You're not getting any info. There's no jump spotting right here. There's no jump spotting around here. They have pretty much no intel already a minute and 17 into the round. And you see right here, they're not really working with anything. There's nothing really to do here. They're just going to sit here and play this. There's no Astra push up here. There's no Viper push up here. There's nothing going on anywhere in here. Another thing that I want to talk about is how the Sova isn't initiating the contact. And this is something that I really stress to a lot of my players that I'm coaching, is that when you see things like this starting to unfold, it's the initiator's job to really get things going. That's the name of the agent. The agent has to play that role and they have to fit that role. And you see Sentinels right here really not doing exactly what they need to do. And another thing I want to point out is when you notice the health is really low and that your shield is really low, especially where Sick is at, there's no reason for you to be angle peeking this. Have Viper or have Jet do a jump spot for you right here and then swing with them. Instead, Sick's going to try and take a one-on-one gunfight, and it's not going to work out for him. He's going to get picked. He's going to know that the next one's going to swing, and it's like textbook. It's almost as if he knows the next one's going to peek. Hey, look, guys, you know somebody's in hookah. Let's not just start one-on-one swinging, and that's what they do. Even though Tins gets the kills right there, he's really good, and the Astral Star pulls him in, there's already info, and they know where they're going. And instead of rotating back towards A and getting the rotate, they're going to go ahead and just straight push through here and act like they're brainless and that they're clueless. The nade comes in, it stops the push. Right here, you're going to notice already off the rip, they're starting to start committing 3. You got Viper just sitting here. She ulted off showers just to make sure that they can't rotate back again. All right, so let's talk about something real quick. This really kind of irks my nerves. Why does Jet have the spike? Because when Jet has a spike, she can't create as much space as she needs to. And I know people are going to sit here and say, look, if she dashes on the site, she draws attention away. People usually don't shoot Jet anyway, so she can just get the spike down. But that's not how it works. And I like the idea from Shazam here to go ahead and use his ult to clear off this little angle right here that's in the back of, or what we usually call U. But he doesn't really get much intel from that. He's just kind of shooting it. He's kind of spamming it. And the counter ult is going to come back. And now we're going to see Victor pop his ult. Tins is going to get a pick on Ye. Now things are pretty clear. Now OpTic has pretty much they don't have any control of the site, okay? They have no control of the site. This should be a win for Sentinels pretty much easily here. But that's not what's going to happen. Crashies is going to get the ultimate simply right through here. And that's a big play from Crashies. You can't really make stuff like that up. It's just Crashies being smarter than what essentially Zombs was doing. I don't know why Zombs was swinging on the corner right there. He should have kind of baited out the ult, waited for the ult to go away. But that's easy to say when you're not playing and when you're watching. You know, I kind of understand his play there. Again, the spike isn't down. Let's notice something, that they have control of site and the spike still is not down. And this is one of my biggest issues with Sentinels, is getting the spike down. If they get the spike down right here, they can start setting up for post plant. And when you have a Sova, you can easily set up for the post plant back here, or you can set up for it in hookah. And they don't set up for it at all. You're still hunting down this one player. He starts to plant, it starts to go down, but this should have been a lot earlier. And it's going to be hard for them to get into their post plant because now you have a pinch coming in from hookah. And because this pinch is coming in, now it's going to be easy for them to converge on you. Viper's going to go ahead and swing out, bait it out. Look at that. Good team play. Even though that they die right there, FNS gets picked off right there, you have to notice what's going to happen. That creates time for Raze and Sova to get onto the site. And now Jet is in a pinch. So now all they have to do is win this one-on-one, or Sova keep this angle while he tries to win this one-on-one, and it creates just essentially a duel fest when it doesn't need to be that. The Shark Dart's going to come in, you're going to get a pick from Crashies, and it's an easy one-on-one win for Crashies again. Crashies was the MVP of that round, and I really wanted to highlight that for you guys because it really shows exactly team play needs to be just simply more effective for Sentinels. But most importantly, Crashies and the Sova utility and the Sova ult really came through. And it really was a Sova diff in that round. Okay, guys, the last thing that I want to take a look at, I want to talk about this round in particular. This round in particular is what I thought really lost Sentinels. The repeating mistake that I kept seeing from Sentinels over and over again. And I continually say this, that it's more or less just Sentinels being way too independent. And I know that it's really good when you have these players that are just independently really, really good. But when you play against teams like OpTic, when you play against teams like Gambit, when you play against teams like Liquid, you have to have teams composition individually that mesh together. And what I mean by that is when you have individually good players, it doesn't matter how good those individuals are. If they don't work well as a team, or they don't want to play good as a team, and they don't want to chemistry and gel together, or they just can't gel together, it really doesn't matter when you're playing a better team. Now, Sentinels has been able to get over those humps in a lot of tournaments, but we've seen this in Champions, and then we're seeing it again, that they're not able to get over these little humps, because OpTic arguably is one of the best teams in NA. I'd say they're pretty much 1 or 2 in NA at the moment. But I'd also have to sit here and say, when you look at this team and you look at the composition that these teams are running, you have to be able to develop a chemistry around that. And I would love to see on this play right here that instead of using the drone that they're going to use to kind of go ahead and bait out what Ye is going to do, I would love to see them go ahead and show me a little bit of jump spotting. And it's something weird to see because usually the pros are really good about that. And it's something you got to teach amateur players, but you don't see that too much. Right here, you're going to see a drone go out, and that's pretty much a waste of utility because when they go back to A, what you're going to notice is that instead of going ahead and droning into A, they're going to push into A, and it's going to basically result in an early pick. Now, it doesn't always mean because you drone that somebody's not going to pick you off, but what it does mean is that somebody isn't able to get onto site as easy as they would be with the drone because you have to shoot the drone or you have to shoot a person, and sometimes people get really trigger happy and that can throw them off, and you'll see that. So they'll start the rotation, they'll start rotating back towards A, And as they start rotating back towards A, notice how OpTic already knows the rotation is gone. Chamber's calling it out. Hey, they're rotating. I know they're rotating. They're not peeking anymore. Kaio's already on the rotation. Sova's on his rotation already going. And you have Sage playing the mid. Now, a lot of people have been saying, hey, no Sage on Icebox. And again, my baby Sage is useful on Icebox, and this is the game to show it. Okay, I had to put that in there. You're gonna start to see that the rotations are starting to take place, and I want you guys to see exactly how OpTic set this up. They haven't left the chamber by himself, and I know you guys are gonna probably think to yourself, but he's over here on this side of the map by himself. He's not by himself strictly because Kaio is covering mid. They know that they rotated, they know the wall is going up. Sage and Viper both have enough audio cues, essentially, hearing the footsteps, know that they're coming in here. They know what's going on. But one thing I wanted you guys to take note of is how Sova sets up for his ultimate. He knows that they're coming. He's going to go ahead and pop this ultimate. And look, he's going to get in a perfect spot to pop this ultimate. He pops his ultimate this way. A lot of players will go in here and maybe they get picked off trying to rotate this way, or they try to go all the way back site and use this, and that could hit Sage or that can hit Viper. In a lot of my ranked play matches back in the day, I definitely would see this a lot where the Sova would try to go back site. And even I'm guilty of this sometimes when I'm playing, where I'll go back site instead of going, you know, probably at this angle or this angle. These angles that Crashy is taking is so good, and you see the level of skill that's on display from him. So you're going to notice, again, what are we seeing that's wrong from Sentinels? The spike carrier is on the site first, not Jet. Jet needs to be getting on the site. You guys are going to say, hey, he's opping. He can't be on the site first if he's opping. I always beg to differ that. It depends on what's going on in the round, and you always have to be adaptable. They're used to Tins not getting on site first with the op. They're used to every duelist not getting on site with the op. Let's switch it up and put the op in a position like back A, or put him on a little corner right here to where he can get a pick going this way. Switch it up. Make something different. Don't always do the same thing. Sometimes it's just about not being predictable to your opponents. So they're going to get a pick right off the ultimate. So 6 is going to go down. Now the spike's gone. Now we're going to have a little bit of a congestion going on right here with Sentinels. Sentinels is not spread out whatsoever. And that's a thing that I have noticed a lot with Sentinels, is that when the going gets tough, they don't get going much often. And that's what I'm saying about Sentinels that really seems to be the reoccurring thing for Sentinels. It seems to be like these guys continually, when the round breaks down, they don't have adjustments. And I feel like that just comes from coaching. You can say the IGL, or you can say preparation or practice, but I feel like that's just a coaching thing that should be there. Because as a coach and being a coach, I know that these are where I'm supposed to excel, not really the players, right? Not even just the IGL. It's my job to make sure that they're able to adjust mid-round without me being there, or without me sitting there giving them every little calm, because we all know in Valorant, you can't calm during the rounds. And again, the spike's going to go down. They're going to know the spike's going down. They're going to take their time with this. Notice again, the chamber is still not on site. So he is not even there. He's still waiting for the rotation. He now knows the spike's going down. He's going to book it to A. And this is what cannot happen. This is way too open for FNS. There is no lines of sight for any Sentinels players to watch this. Sova has his back turned. Kaio's watching this angle. He's watching this angle. There's just nothing going on right here for Sentinels to grab information. Now there's going to be a swing. You're going to notice that the chamber's going to see him first. Sova is going to turn around, but at that time it's pretty much over with. There's going to be a pick. Marv is going to go ahead and get it picked onto Zoms. Marv is going to get out of that situation. They're going to back him and say, hey, look, we're good. Crashy is going to get a pick on the Tins. Tins is out of position. And now you have essentially a 4v1. There's nothing you can do about that. Bada bing, bada boom, read like a book. OpTic goes up 11-8, hurts the economy of Sentinels. And man, all I have to tell you guys right here is this is just the same thing over and over again that we continue to see with Sentinels. I don't think Sentinels is out of it yet. I think Sentinels can come back and do a really good push in these next coming weeks, in especially the tournaments that we have coming up. I really think that they can still make a push, but I just think they need better coaching. And you continually see that over and over again, that these mid-game adjustments and these strategies that they're coming up with, it just kind of lacks behind the elite teams, especially on the grand and world stage, that they so desperately need. And I'm very weary of what's going on here. I don't know if it's practice. I don't know if it's the IGL calls. I really don't know. Like I said, I'm not on the inside, but from just coaching and knowing coaching, it looks like a coaching adjustment and some issues that are going on behind the scenes that we really don't talk about much. If you guys are looking for coaching as well and you want to get some one-on-ones or stuff of that nature, please go ahead and check the Discord link in the description below. We do one-on-one coachings as well as team coaching and try to help you get better, not just at the game of Valorant, but Halo and Apex as well. We're looking to expand into other games. So if you're interested in coaching, interested in getting better, or just want to sit with the community, enjoy yourself, and talk about Valorant, come through. Link will be in the description below. We'll talk about more of that in the future, and we'll have a formal announcement in the near future. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. It's your man, Zai AZ. Bless up. As always, God bless. And I'll see you guys in the next Valorant VOD review.